It's cheaper than therapy.
Yep. All right, welcome back. Another episode of Money, Marriage, and
Magic.
We are back in full effect. I don't know what day it is because we have a child and we work from home and we're just continuously busy. We're taking on ventures. We're doing a podcast. I don't even know.
You're right. We're taking on adventures. It's never ending.
Never
Do you feel
ending.
like that?
It's never ending, but also we're maybe finding out we're doing a lot that maybe we could do a less little. I can't even speak right because we do so much stuff.
What is that bird?
Squirrel!
No. Okay, look.
blue
Can
one?
you see it? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like,
It's a
look, they're mating.
scrub
They're
jay.
mating. They're mating.
scrub jay.
I'm not lying. They're mating. All
right, you heard it here first, you guys.
It's like the pigeons. It's
Could
on
you-
top of the other one.
Could you describe
Look
it?
at it.
Could you describe it for our
They're
viewers?
all coming. Oh my God.
Could you describe it for our viewers right now? What is happening?
So play by play.
Mounting
This
is happening.
This is the new version of Money, Marriage, Magic where
Yep.
we analyze animals and we tell you play by play how they have intercourse.
I think that just explains our life right there. We're doing so many things that yet we get distracted. Hey, what's that? Maybe we should discuss birds and
Yeah,
mating.
but it like came swooping in and then the other one swooped on top of it and it was like the pigeon dance.
So was it like two planes refueling in the midair? Just like
Oh, like you're talking about like Top Gun when they like,
yes.
yeah.
No, that's inverted. I don't know.
I don't
If you've seen
know.
Top Gun,
I don't know.
Go watch it. It's amazing.
Welcome to my brain that can't stay still for 2.2 seconds.
And we're back.
And we're back. Okay. Hey, Zach.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you? I'm tired. Actually,
I'm good. How was your weekend? How was Memorial Day?
cold.
Yeah, it was cold. Not
Our
our
weather
normal
sucked ass.
barbecue Memorial Day, but long weekend is always good and fun because we get to enjoy with friends and family.
We
and
had like a double long weekend because Aria had Friday off and Monday off. So it was pretty chill though.
Yeah.
It was pretty chill. Like it was fun. Hung out with friends, went to Disneyland, hung out with friends, hung out with family, did all the things.
Yes, I
But
enjoyed
it was
it all.
chill. Zach worked. Zach
No, I
almost
didn't.
always works on the weekends. Yes, you do.
I mean, I kind of worked. No,
Well,
just kidding.
okay. Why don't you kick it off there? What do you do for work?
I have been a DJ
How do you
since
make money?
I've been a DJ since I was 16 and probably like 20 years. And I do special events, everything from bar bat mitzvahs, weddings, galas. I mean, whatever needs entertainment with music.
Oh, I'm going to squirrel for a hot second.
They call
you
me.
might get a bunch of like inquiries.
For what?
Because on one of my Facebook mommy groups and the Jewish moms mommy group that I'm in, somebody's like, what do you think of these three DJs? I knew two of them. I didn't know one of them. And I was like, okay, but I was like, oh, I'm like, I could say something. Why shouldn't I say something here? I'm like, this is how marketing, this is how like networking, this is how like word of mouth works, right? So I was like, hey, listen, I'm like, my husband, I'm like, obviously I'm fully biased here because he's my husband and I love him. But
Go ask around.
But honestly, like when you see Zach perform as a DJ for a bar mitzvah, which is one of the hardest things in my opinion, because I've been there, I've done that. I used to be his party pumper. Oh God, the days. But when I would watch him work and what he does and how he can get a crowd hyped up and the things he can do, he truly I don't like, I'm going to toot your horn. Is that what I'm doing? Yeah. But like you really are magical at what you do.
Magical.
You really, truly are though. Like
Yeah.
I know you can't see it, you can't feel it, you can't understand it. But when you see him to watch something like that happen, he'll be like, this is the shyest kid ever. This is going to be a really hard bar mitzvah. I'm not going to get them up to dance. He comes home next morning. I'm like, hey, how was your event? And he's like, unbelievable. And I'm like, that's because you're so good at what you do. But anyways, so I threw you in there. I said, go check them out. ZG Productions.
Yeah, show me the post. I'll repost
You know.
some stuff for it.
Sure.
You know?
Anyways, sorry.
And this
Totally
goes right
cut
into
you
kind of
off.
what we're talking about. You know, as
Yeah.
you say, we're super busy. We are both self-employed. We have multiple, a couple streams of income, which is what we do. But we wanted to talk about, being self-employed, raising an 8.5-year-old, and just trials and tribulations, the good, the bad, what works for us, and just that world for us. And of course, anything we speak about, we always want to hear from you and see what you say and do. And because knowledge back and forth can go a long way.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what do we do? You guys heard the DJ side. I've been DJing, like I said, for like 20 years out here, special events. But what's our other element of work?
So we own an online boutique. On our property is where we have all of our warehouse, essentially. So we sell live on live platforms. We have an app and we sell live through Facebook and Instagram and TikTok's coming along. But basically, I try everything on and sell it live and then fellow women, moms, daughters, sisters, anybody buys and shops. And it's really fun. It's really cool. I feel really blessed that that's what we get to do. I mean, prior to that, I was in the photography business. I had my own photography company. So we've always been self-employed, minus me working for the restaurant industry. We have been self-employed for a really long time.
What do you think made the transition from going from, a W-2 to making your own money,
I don't know that I could like actually guide somebody in doing it, being like, if you did X, Y, and Z, this would happen. I don't think that I could do that. I think that like, I'm actually a pretty firm believer. If you put things out there in the universe, they'll just kind of start.
Do you think if you never would have met me, you'd still probably be working for someone?
That's a hard question, but
I would think at this point you would probably have some stake in a restaurant. You'd be like,
I probably would have opened up my own at some point.
Yeah, something
if
like
financially
that.
Financially, I could have afforded it at that point in time, but like that was like I was heavily invested in the restaurant industry, heavily, like to a point of like I didn't want to really move because I worked for this restaurant when I met Zach that I like absolutely totally loved. Like it was my family. It was like my life. And I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed everything the owner stood for. Like it was a great gig. Like I made a lot of money. So don't ever like, I guess maybe this is what I'm going to say about things like that. Never like, I don't know how to say this, but like, don't dumb down what you're doing. You know what I mean? Because I know so many people who work in the restaurant industry for a long time, forever. And they feel like they're not accomplishing anything because you don't have a title maybe, or you don't have, it just, for some reason, it doesn't feel that luxurious. It doesn't feel
there's something
like,
in the air. There's like some stigma of being a server. And what's funny is like, but let's say
I guess you don't have to go to school for it, but you don't have to go to school to have a podcast, and you don't have to go to school to become a DJ, and you don't have to go to school.
But
you don't have to go to school to make lots of money.
But even if you go from like busboy to server to manager and you're going up, right? Mm-hmm. What I've seen is if you're a manager, I think it's worse than being a server. So whenever I hear server, anybody I know or they're mating
Look
again?
at them all. No, look at them all. What are they doing?
Oh, it's a bunny.
There's a bunch of scrub jays.
We got Charlotte's Web happening outside.
Sorry, I can't. I'm sorry, I can't focus today.
But managers, I think servers is one of the greatest jobs you can have in the right place. And you could be a lifer and make way more money than any kind of manager, have way more flexibility. I literally think it's one of the greatest jobs that you can have. I mean,
I think that's why it works so well. Like when I first moved here, that's what I did. I mean, that's where my experience was customer service kind of thing. And I had the freedom, like I would take a month off a year. Luckily, they allowed that to happen. It was skeptical, but I would do that and we'd go travel the world and like things that like we never could have done with any other like 9-to-5 job. Like so never.
Anybody out there that's like a server or wanting to be, I mean, there's definitely like different tiers of restaurants, of course, but like look, starting somewhere, being a server and jumping up to the next top tier, the next
I've
level.
always said, and I think I've met a lot of people who say this, is like everybody should have to pay their dues before they get to go out in the real world and become a server for at least.
What dues are paid? What do you mean by dues?
You learn how to
like every piece of the restaurant?
No, I think you just need to be a server or like some front of the house kind of thing. You need to learn how to deal with people, different types of personalities, and how to not turn around and say when somebody's like a total asshole to you, turn around and like be an asshole back, because you can't.
So you're saying everybody should just be a server at some point in your life?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. I think
it teaches you a lot of life lessons.
Yeah.
It teaches you patience. It teaches you how to like be efficient with your time. It gives you all the personalities out there in the world, because you're going to run into them unless you're a hermit crab and you don't do anything. You know what I mean? You're going to run into all the different personalities,
I was
whether you like it or not.
Like 2 weeks.
And how'd you like it?
It was a corporate spot, and I'll never forget, because I still could think about it. The anxiety of carrying a big ass tray with like 5 plates on it. I don't care how strong you are.
Remember, that's why I got a job at like PF Chang's. I was trying to get like a second job when I first lived here, because I wanted to like make more money. I got a job at PF Chang's, and the tray, I was like, nope.
That is not right, man.
Not doing that.
Question, do you still see that?
I have never. I haven't went to PF Chang's in 100 years. Look, at
this day and age, working with all the legalities and like potential sue, they made me carry this big tray, and I now pull in. No.
Well, yeah, I was like, I'm gonna literally like hurt myself trying to do this, because like I'm not strong enough to do that.
Yeah. So, question: next time you go out to dinner, Look
Tell
around.
us if somebody has still got the big old tray.
Yeah, are you seeing a tray with 5 plates on it? I don't think you are. And if you are, I mean, you're only seen on social as like a gag reel of like someone going and just falling or something, which that happens. I don't think it exists anymore. I'm just gonna say I don't think it exists.
Oh yeah.
So let me see, like what are the good and the bad of being self-employed? Like what comes to mind of some of the bad?
You want me to start?
Sure.
I mean, you're the CEO, you're the custodian, you hire, you fire, you make the plan for the day. If you fail, there's nobody there to reprimand you or tell you to do something else. Like as much freedom as you have, it's a blessing and it's a curse when you are doing your own business working from home. Like,
do you think it's like, I don't know if bad is almost the right word because you're also learning so much while you're taking this on. Like,
I mean, I guess I'm grateful for this day and age because like we can do this and still be able to like Google something or like find ways to like better our business or still learn without having to like go to school or, you know what I mean? Like there's so many streams of help out there. That's absolutely, you look really distracted.
No.
Are you okay? I feel like you're really distracted. You want to know what's really distracting me right now? You have one eyebrow that like, can you see it?
My eyebrow?
It's like an
Where?
eyebrow that's growing into your eye.
No.
There, it's better
Get it
now.
out. Okay.
Sorry, no.
My eyebrows, man, I get like these little guys all the time that just like to grow. They're its own little.
You guys, we're filming in the evening. As you can see, we're drinking wine. If we're drinking coffee, it's usually like daytime filming. We haven't filmed at night in forever.
No, we switch it up. You know?
I know.
Hence
I like
part
it.
of the self-employment working from home. You got to make things the work. So
yeah.
all the things I think you say that are bad, I don't think they're necessarily
They're
bad
not
because
bad. They're just the challenges.
You could get paid to learn, and it just be very quickly too. So I mean, there's a reason why everybody always says like the fails are very good if you know how to learn from them. So I don't know if there's.
But I also think like, okay, so we have friends who started their own business and, they're like, whoa, like I have such bad ADHD. I'm like, I totally understand that. I'm like, when you work from home, you can very easily over here, over there, over there. Oh, look at that. Ooh, that's shiny. Ooh, wait. Oh, I didn't finish that project. Oh, I start cleaning over here. Oh, shoot. I need to go back into the warehouse. I forgot doing what I was like. It's very easy to get distracted.
Yes.
And if you are somebody who easily gets like if you go to a 9 to 5 and like you go in, you clock in, you start your day, right? You have a system. You have something that you're probably working on, a project or patience or you have chores, things you got to do along your day, right?
Mm-hmm.
At home here, you have to be that person that makes.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you can get very like, as can I. Like
Yeah.
I'm not pointing a finger or anything. Like I can very much so be like, here 1 minute, gone the next.
Well, it's tough too because you're in a job, you're always told what to do, you do it. That's it,
Yeah,
right?
true.
So as just as saying, you're your own boss, of course, but it's very easy to be sidetracked. So the hardest thing is just staying on point because new things are always coming up. You have the ability to do whatever you want. So the hardest part about, I think, being self-employed is just staying focused on one
task, like
one
task
element,
focus.
one category of thing because, I don't know, like, the saying of, or what's better to be great at one thing or okay at multiple. I don't know what
a jack of all trades.
but in money-making business, right?
Yeah.
I've been thinking about this lately. Like, what do you think is better, to be great at one or very good at a lot?
I'm sorry. This is insane. Look, they're all sitting on that bench. I'm sorry. I'm so distracted
It's a
today.
family reunion.
I don't know. They're here to sabotage our podcast today. Like, what are they doing?
Going back to staying
Sorry.
focused on one thing. We have, I don't know.
I'm horrible. So I find like when I know that I'm getting like super off task or it's like the struggle is real, and that happens. It happens a lot for me. I'll make lists or we'll sit down and be like, hey, yo, we've got to hone in on this. We have to figure out a way because I'm feeling lost. I'm feeling with like there's no direction. I feel like the business is not where it should be. And then once we do that, it always turns it around for us. But like we spend 24/7 together. So except for Saturdays.
Yeah, we've found we're
Because he
a rare breed
DJs on Saturdays.
from, a lot of people that we know, we spend a lot of time together. But we like it, like
and we still love each other almost 15 years later.
Yeah, 15 this year.
I know.
Couple months.
Good job.
Yeah.
Glad you remembered.
Yeah.
Where are you taking me? Bora Bora.
Paris, London, Amsterdam, Maui.
Okay, I am
Brazil.
a spoiled, privileged little brat.
Those are the places that, what?
I said, you're mean. Come on, we're all going there.
It's a group effort.
Effort? It's an effort?
Another reason
what
why.
Is an effort?
I don't know. You can work from home. You can make your own income. It's up to you how much work you want to put in.
Yeah.
And there's no guarantees of when that will be successful or whatever it may be. But also, we would not choose what we're doing unless it made us happy too.
Yeah.
And, selling women's clothes, let's say, we didn't plan on this at all.
No, never. It wasn't like it was a dream where I was like, babe, what I want to do is I want to sell women's clothing and I want to try it all on. I want to have a boutique. But that thought never existed in my mind. I can promise you that. Never.
So what if someone's thinking about doing their own business or starting their own thing and they're going to leave their job or something? I don't know if
what would I do? What would be my advice? Or
would you, if you were doing, if let's say nothing has happened yet, would you full on just quit your job?
No, never.
Okay.
I would I'm a really firm believer that if you want something bad enough, you can make it happen. Now, if I wanted to become a brain surgeon at 40 odd years old, whatever, 42 years old, let's be realistic. I don't have the discipline for that, and that's never going to happen. I know that's never going to happen. But I would love to grow our business bigger than what our business is for sure. You know what I mean? I'd love to have other streams of income. Even today, I was like, screw it. I know the market sucks. We have to buy another house. I was sitting there putting my shoes on. I was like, nope, we have to rip the Band-Aid off. We have to buy another house. We have to get another rental property because we're just sitting here saying we're going to do things. We're not doing things. You know what I mean? I'm like, when is the market going to get better? When is this? But I feel like the more you talk about it, the more you put it out there in the universe, and you may think this is hokey and that's okay. But for me, this is how my whole life has happened. Our whole life has happened.
Yeah. And I would
but
never.
I wouldn't say quit your job.
Never cold turkey. There's always extra hours in the days.
You got to get your feet wet.
Especially with social. There's always extra hours in the day.
Yeah.
Look at your phone and see how many hours you spend on social. Of course, some of it might be research, whatever, but there's always extra hours in the day, 1 extra hour to do something. But I would say if you have people around you, friends, family that are just self-employed, it doesn't have to be in
ask a lot of
in
questions.
your category. It doesn't have to be in your category. If anybody's self-employed that just ask questions, you never know. And it could be the easiest thing to ask to get an answer for. And it could be monumental, the answer. Just do I have a sole proprietor? Do I have a LLC, a S Corp?
Well, yeah,
I didn't know this stuff.
There's lots of steps.
But mainly. But
then once you know. He knows.
But mainly, always just try to find something you love to do. Of course, it sounds like the perfect world syndrome of us yeah, it sounds, yeah, but you already do it, whatever. But we didn't wake up one day and this just happened. It just gradually veered into that because our mindset and mental was always this is, I think, what we want. But we didn't even know we wanted it,
Let me ask you this. Do you think opportunities just kind of arise sometimes and then you either have to take it and try it or say no? You know what I mean? Because I think for us, so back in the day before we started selling women's clothing, we sold LuLaRoe clothing. So some of you will know about it. Some of you will had things to say about it. Totally fine. Our friends were selling it. An opportunity kind of came up and they're like, listen, you should do this as well. And we were like, I don't know. We hummed and hawed about it. And then Zach was like, what do we have to lose? He's like, what do we have to lose? We could say no, or we could do it. He's like, why don't we just try it? And I was just like, I don't know. We had a little baby. She was probably 8 months old. She was over a year. Because we left the condo. We'd bought our first home. So she was over a year. It's probably a year and a half. I was just like, I don't know. But then I was like, well, I like clothes. I had a blog at one point that was really fun. And
that blog was about clothing.
Which is so crazy.
It is.
That's what, it went nowhere. It did nothing. It got to a point where I got some free stuff, which was kind of cool. But it was back in the day when before Instagram, before TikTok, before all the things, I was blogging, making him take pictures, writing these posts. There was no AI to write my posts for me. There was me struggling hard, but I liked it and I wanted something different in life. And I think that was the first dip my toe in the water kind of situation.
Well, it's almost like a journal entry. It can make you feel good if you just do it. If it's free to do,
it was fun. It was a lot of work.
Just do it. Just start it. Don't think you have to do all these things at once. Just start very slow. Let it evolve. If it makes you happy, keep doing it.
Yeah.
If it stresses you out, that's not bad. Just because
let's say you don't. There will be stress.
There's tons of stress.
There.
What?
There's a cat there. I put my foot down. I was like, what the heck?
How stressful do you think it is being self-employed?
Much. Well, it can't.
So would you say there are extreme highs and extreme lows? Is it ever in the middle?
Yeah.
So what would the middle look like?
When everything's just kind of flowing.
Okay. I would veer that into more of the highs. When it's just going,
in the middle is flowing. The highs are when the highs are almost even more stressful, but they're booming. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Your growth is happening. That's the highs because you're nonstop, super focused, going, you're reaching and reaching and reaching because you're growing. I think when you're just flowing, where everything's going great, maybe your business isn't going up, but it's not going down. It's just you've got a groove. I'd say that's flowing. But the lows are when all of a sudden you see sales go down. You see numbers changing. You feel the stress. You feel the stress of the economy. You feel what COVID's doing to you. You feel these things. You know what I mean? When you have to reinvent yourself, there's nobody else there to do it for you. There's nobody. So if you don't do it, you either sink or you swim.
If you compare that to a serving job, are there extreme highs and lows and middle ground for that too? Or is it just always, if you have a good spot that's working, is it always just...
But I remember I'd be like, oh crap, I really want to buy a ticket to go traveling. All right, I'll pick up a bunch of shifts. I'll just work more and work more and work more. And inevitably, if you're there at a restaurant and people are coming in, you're making money. You know what I mean? So you could control your income to a certain extent with working for ourselves in the online selling business. Essentially, you can kind of control your income too. If I do one more live sale, I will make more sales. If I do one less live sale, well, same thing happens. I make less money. You know what I mean? So it's easier for me, I think, to change my income and all the things I've ever done than it is for you, DJing. You can't make people book you. Mm-hmm. But you're constantly busy because it's word of mouth for you. You've been doing it for so long that you've built a reputation, and it's a great reputation, and you do a great job. And it's so consistent. But have you ever evaluated if your business is growing? Or are you just coasting? You're just in that happy middle. And
I've been told this many times, I don't do it the way you should in business. But with my DJ world, there's a lot more I could be doing to be a lot busier. But then...
Well, like what?
Everything social and posting, everything is
But you have to have that media to post. Mm-hmm. Where are you going to get that from?
I don't know.
You're like a one-man show almost.
I was thinking I might just hire someone to come for the first hour and just be there, and I'm just going to pay them to film and cut together a whole bunch of stuff for me, and that's
smart.
it, and just, but I got to find that person. But anyway, it's, it's something to think about,
I could be that person. You want to pay me?
Yeah. No.
What
I mean is just, it wouldn't flow into our daily.
No, I know.
Weekends,
I don't want to do that. I love my Saturdays with Aria, even though we miss you. I do love my.
So now, raising an 8.5-year-old kid, I think there's other value now out of that. Even if it's a struggle of starting something new, and you're thinking about starting something new, having a kid who's a sponge at that age,
and we only have one, you guys. We have one. So if you have multiples, congrats, total props to you. I really do bow down to you.
You have your own business. You're raising 3 kids.
Yeah.
What the kids see on top of that is such a bonus. And
you know what I think is going to be really cool though? When she's older and we ask her, what did you think we did? I swear to God, this kid thinks that we just sit around the house and watch TV all day long. Sometimes, right? You know what I mean? And you're huh?
Yeah, she could maybe, just because we're home.
She thinks she doesn't, I don't know that she'll have a real identification of what a job is, a true.
Well, but we're also teaching her as time goes on. I think having her own business, I love doing this. Whenever the teaching moment can come about, I'll do it. We're talking about like we have 5 chickens. We get 5 eggs a day. We
get 4. One just wants to sit on them and make them hatch.
But we've
She's got an
literally
attitude.
we've thought about it and had conversations, and these are fun conversations. Could we have a stand at a farmer's market or on the corner, like a lemonade stand, selling eggs and having Aria, this? But
so do you think that because we're entrepreneurs, I wonder what the likelihood of, like, if you have 2 parental entrepreneurs, what's the likelihood of your children coming out entrepreneurs, or do they go against the grain and they decide, screw it, I'm going to school.
I don't think we have
want like
control.
a real. I don't think you do either. But I mean, I think if they see the freedom of your life,
but
for a very long time, and they get older and they realize, and then they get a 9 to 5 and they're like, what the heck is this?
But it's going to be tough to teach the hard work it gets to be able to work from home to the kid, because they're already thinking that we just sit at home all day and just make money.
Yeah, but she's going to get older and she's going to realize that that's not what's happening.
Sure. Like during a break or something, when she sees a week of like not going to school.
She gets it. Like she knows, like she's like, Mommy, why do you have to go outside and do a live? I'm like, baby, it's 1 hour. 1 hour. Oh, lovely.
Yeah. It's
good.
I mean, it's another benefit if you have children.
Yeah.
To have them witness that. I mean, it's another schooling. They see everything. They hear everything. So, we have our kid on the lives selling too, and just she knows if you earn this, you get this, like.
She's been doing it. I mean, I think the last time she finally got it, she was about 8. And I was like, listen, if you come and help me and you do this for so long, you can have whatever. You know what I mean? Like, you have earned money and you can go and get yourself that thing that you've been wanting forever or whatever. You know what I mean? Like,
so it's almost like a chore.
It is like a chore, but it's teaching them.
Yeah, it's a better chore in my eyes.
Like, it's teaching them to earn, which I think is so important, especially this day and age that we live in. You know what I mean? Like,
well, I also want to know, we ask all of our friends of like, do your kids have chores? Do they make money? What are the chores that they have? How much money do they pay them?
That's a Zach question for sure. I don't ask people.
I ask. I'm just so curious.
He asks all the questions.
I'm always so curious. And
But
anybody out there listening,
then I don't have to ask the question.
Fire away. Let us know. Do your kids have chores? What age are they? How much do you pay them? And how much do you follow through on the chores? Like, what if they're like kind of finished? Do you like, no, you got to, how strict are you? And I'm always, curious, because I don't remember.
Oh, we had chores as kids, but we didn't get rewarded for it. We had to
do it.
And if we didn't do it, then we weren't allowed to like go and hang out with our friends and stuff.
The only time I remember getting paid for something is I got $1 to brush my mom's hair anytime I wanted to. That's it.
No.
I'm serious. Ask my mom.
I'm going to ask her at dinner.
And it was probably, one of those memories you have. It's probably like 5 times or 2, or probably once, but it's a memory you remember, right? But I remember I'll give you $1 if you brush my hair.
No, we had chores and it rotated on the weekly basis. We had clean the bathrooms, do the laundry. Some were on dishes chores. Some were like, there were lots of things, but I don't think we got money.
So again, okay,
Maybe
I want to know
did.
too.
I don't know.
Also, when did you have your first money making kind of job, and because
what was yours?
Mine was either mowing a lawn or a paper route. It was probably both in the same, like I would mow lawns all around our neighborhood.
I worked at Red Robin.
You had a legit job.
Red Robin.
How old were you?
Yum.
But how old were you?
I was in high school still.
Yeah, see, I'm talking like 13,
Ooh,
10.
No. I always wanted a job. Like, I always wanted a job. I might have had a little bit earlier than that. My dad, got my sister and I a job at the flower spot right beside his work, but I could not dress up in a clown costume.
But your dad's kind of always been self-employed too. He works at a place.
Sales. So sales is
it's kind of, you got to work for your income. It's not like you're getting a paycheck per month.
Yeah.
So I think anything in sales, when you make your money off of commission, I think you're somewhat working for yourself.
So maybe you don't have to have a restaurant job. You have to work in a sales job, because then you have to
commission.
learn. Yeah.
Your tips are commission.
Yeah, tips are commission. But that's only in the United States. Everywhere else is and Canada. But I think you have to work in some sort of sales to learn customer service. I, honestly, you could probably even just do phone customer service. But I think a face-to-face is so crucially important, especially this day and age, because I think that's going to go away a lot.
I would never, ever want to be a phone call
person. Not with you calling them.
Oh. No. This day and age. Look, everybody out there, how many spam calls do you get a day?
Spam likely.
Oh my gosh.
He calls all the time.
Oh my gosh. It's, I would never want to be, and if you are, I would love to know if you're happy doing what you're doing and what you do doing it. But for me, I don't know.
But what if you could do that from home and have another job doing something else? What if you could be on your computer answering to other people and be taking remote calls for a company?
Well, that's
What if you
different.
could be making two incomes at once?
We're talking
I've never
about
thought
sales.
about that. Yeah, no.
Like
I
customer
don't wanna do
service,
that.
everybody
No.
does work from home.
Yeah.
I mean, I have phone calls into like SDG, and I'm like, I can hear the kids yelling in the background because she's
really?
she's working from home.
Oh.
And I love it. This is I think
COVID definitely changed a lot of that.
I think it's a great thing that came out of
yeah,
COVID.
I don't mind that.
Like my little brother just is now going back to the office 1 day a week.
Yeah, but
I thought it'd be.
maybe people need that social
But here's the
interaction.
crazy.
What if we all change now and become hermits?
When I asked him, I thought it'd be good. I'm like, oh my gosh, you must be like ecstatic. You get a day away from like kids and they're bombarding
And he doesn't
you.
wanna go back.
And he's like, no.
Because you get all like,
Because I'm Wednesdays are my days. I can go do this in between. And I'm like,
Yeah.
wow, you got so used. So it's great. I mean, like it taught people kind of to work from home. And I think if you have a big business, it opens up the door. Like, wow. I mean, companies are not, I mean, they're letting go a lot of people because we don't need to have this big place. We don't need these many employees. I mean, things are massively changing that I think are good. So, I mean, there's a lot of good stuff that came out of COVID. A lot. And there's a lot of bad too.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't know how good the things are unless you had the bad.
gotta have the good to have the bad.
I don't know. I mean,
So you've been a business owner longer than I have since I've met you.
Since I was like
And
22.
I always like kind of poke fun at Zach. I'm like, I always say Zach would never even know how to go to a job that he had to be on time. And like, I mean, you do and you don't, because like you can't show up to DJ like an hour after it's time to start. Like you have to be there way before and set up and stuff. So like, I think your sense of time is, but like, I couldn't imagine you having like a boss, I guess.
I mean, you kind of work very hard to not. I wouldn't, if that boss is someone that I can learn from, sure, I'll go if it gives me value. But like, I mean, I think we work so hard to get to a certain element to where it's not bad if you have a boss, but are
you my boss?
We're bosses together,
Not my boss. We boss each other around, but
such a weird.
But I know it's
word.
such a weird word, right? It's
such a negative word in a way when you're like, I don't know.
So I think like even with all the stress of being like self-employed, working from home, having a kid, all the elements, would you ever change it?
No. Because you have no guarantees that if you could change it, it'd be like this. There's no guarantees. There's no reason to go back. You just go forward. I don't believe
in backwards.
You can't change the past, man. It's just it's truth.
It's truth.
It's truth.
You can't rewind. You can't rewind. I mean, I don't think I would never. Like one thing that I would say if I could like encourage you for anything, if you can do it and you can manage it, the freedom. And we had friends the other weekend ask us, like, how's the boutique world going? Like, are you still happy there? And blah, blah, blah. And I was like, it has its ups and downs. Some days I absolutely love it. Some days I'm like, I'm exhausted. What you see of me on a live when it's all, hi, welcome. This is Aria Rhyme Boutique, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, I just have to remind myself, like, it's 1 or 2 hours or whatever hours that I'm live out of my day. Now, there's so much more that goes on behind the scenes where I am dealing with inventory and I'm ordering inventory. I'm shuffling inventory. I'm sorting inventory. I'm planning what's going to happen for the next week. You know what I mean? Like there's so many elements to it. But like, I was like, at the end of the day, would I change it? Never.
No.
Never.
Plus, here's the thing. I don't think anybody ever thinks about because when these things come up, I dive deep into like, really? You would do that? Well, what about this? What about that? So if you were to ever change anything in the past, let's say 2 years back, that means all your good times would not have been had. And that's why I'm like, no. No, but I wouldn't
change like my path forward. Like I would stay being a business owner. I do love clothes and I love the opportunity to like.
Well, and also you're good at it.
It's not just clothes, but it's also like empowering women for me. Like where when I get past the clothes and just showing the clothes and I'm just like, when somebody like sends me a message and tells me like, oh my God, I was having such a shitty day. And like your little pep talk on Instagram or your pep talk on your live or the way you don't give a shit and you wear whatever you want and you don't care what people say and you tell us to be like that too. Like, thank you. And you're like, oh, thank you. Like, because social media is hard, right? It looks one way from one side. But it's totally probably polar opposite.
I think it always looks one way from one side, and it's always not that way from the other.
I try to keep my social media pretty real.
Yeah.
I try because
a lot of it's
like
not.
You know what I mean? A lot of my social media.
No, a lot
real?
of social in general.
Oh,
not yours
like,
is.
What?
No.
Just see me just like back it up. Like what the hell are you talking about? Like I want to be real because I don't want people to think that like, do I have a good life? Absolutely. I have a roof over my head. I have health. I have food. There's people who don't even have 2 of those 3. You know what I mean? So without a doubt, like you can't complain, you can't compare. Like we are privileged and we are very, very lucky.
We've worked for it.
We've worked for it, but some people try to work for it and they never get it.
Mm-hmm.
So what would you say to that?
I mean, look, some people also in the self-employment world are not meant to be their own boss. They're just not.
True.
We've witnessed that. I mean, going back to like Lulu Road days. I mean, like some people are not. It's just truth. It's just some people are not meant to own their own business.
Dead honest truth.
I know it's.
You want to know why? Because it's hard. Mm-hmm. It really is hard.
But then that would say that person can't work hard. You got, like.
No. It's harder to own your own business than to work hard.
Or would you?
Because you have to do 2 different elements.
Or I would say be careful with being sold the dream, because that's the world of being self-employed too. If it's from something other avenue, other company trying to, get you. It's just like social media. It's one way on this side, but you go behind closed doors and you see what it really takes to do something. It's a lot of work. I mean, we saw a lot of people in our world, and I was just
but that's also like an MLM. That's a whole nother.
Well, it's any business you can sign up for and sell that product. Any business.
I think about doing an MLM again all the time because I could have like another stream of income easily, and I was really good at it. Once. Mm-hmm.
I think you would have to find something that you like.
Isn't that crazy? And this is the thing. Then I dive deep into them and I start looking at them being like, okay, what about this one? Or what about this one? Oh, I really like this, right? Like gut health is a big thing, right? So like, but then I start looking at the ingredients. I'm like, these are all shitty ingredients. No, I can't like back it. Like I have to be able to 100% back it. Like I have no problem with the whole like people underneath you making the money, but like I know that I can sell the shit out of something. So I'm like, I could do this. But then I'm like, no, can I do it? I don't know.
It's the main thing is you want to find
always
something.
Looking for more elements, more looking to get busier.
Yeah. But the main thing, I mean, I would say for this, podcast is just try to find something that you like and love. And even if it's like 10% of your daily and it's something that you can do while you still have your job, that would grow into something bigger. It just always does.
And like you can't give up on yourself. You know what I mean? Because the easiest thing I think is to give up on yourself. To be like, I'm not good at this. I can't. Listen, I came in tonight after I had a live and I looked at Zach and he's like, how was your live? I was like, bleh, sucked. He's like, I'm like, what? I'm like, why do I have to have that attitude? I was like, what the hell is wrong with me? Like, not every day is rainbows, butterflies, and unicorns, Jess. Like you have to realize you have to have higher and lower days. I just took 3.5 days off. You know what I mean? And like, you can't get down on yourself for it. You just have to keep pushing forward. And whenever you're sad about something, like be thankful for the things you do have and remember your blessings and the good things. And you can't listen, you're the only person who can't give up on yourself because nobody else is going to care. So if you want something bad enough, you can make it happen. Like, I don't want to be a brain surgeon. That was a really bad example. But like, I want to be a successful business owner. I want financial freedom, and I want my child to see it so that she can grow up to see what that looks like. I want to model what life can be in a healthy manner. You know what I mean? I think that's really, at the end of the day, like, I want to travel the world.
It's a lot here.
I want the money, the marriage, and the magic. I want the money, the marriage, and the magic. I have it all.
It's possible, but it's baby steps. It takes years. And are you able to wait that long? There is nothing that's going to happen overnight, realistically. It's and just try to find something you love, little bits at a time. It will grow into something bigger.
Ask lots of questions.
It's hard work. Ask questions. The good things about socials, there's other people out there in the same boat. And just
don't be afraid. You can't be afraid either. Like, that's the thing. Like, if fear is holding you back, which it's going to, 150%. I think that's probably what holds everybody back, right? If fear is holding you back, you've got to find a way to pocket that fear and like let it drive you, but don't let it stop you. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah. No, I'm just like,
no, your eyes are like,
no,
yes,
it's correct.
Yes.
So just
that was a good line.
Yeah.
Is that going to be my tagline?
Repeat the line.
Let it drive you. Don't let it stop you.
The fear.
Yes.
Yes. Correct.
Boom.
And on that, I think we'll end it there. I think that's just good. Find
Jess is getting deep. We're out. She's going to cry.
No.
We got through one episode without tears.
No, it's good. It's good. But like we said, you guys, We'd love to hear anything you have to say on this topic, all the stuff that we said.
Or if you just have questions, like
Sure.
you literally had just a question for us. Like you're like, okay, you touched on this, but you didn't touch on this enough. And like, it made no sense to me. Hit us up. We will answer you. Like, well, Zach better monitor it. Cause the other day I was like, you're monitoring all these platforms, right? This is what I mean. Like that's having multiple jobs and multiple irons in the fire. Like it's nonstop, but we will gladly always, you know, where you can always get us, hit us up on our Instagram, Money Marriage Magic, because if you DM us in there, we got you. I'm on that.
Yes. So keep follow us on all platforms. Anywhere you can hear us, watch us. We're always there. Comment, send emails, send DMs, whatever you want. We're always here for you guys. And,
We're grateful. Thank you for being
we
here with
appreciate
us, you
y'all.
guys. It's a fun time. So thank you.
And we out.
We out.
Cheers.
Oh, cheers.
Cheers, y'all.
It's cheaper than therapy.
Yep.